The key is just you just can't allow yourself to get into that mode. I know we had a pretty good streak going in the postseason until Arkansas got us a few days ago, but we were never really there with the players and the coaches. It's not part of the conversation, and it's not even like you're just trying to avoid it. It's not like you just block it out so we can't talk about it. You really can't allow yourself to go there. You just try to play the next game. And I've said before, we've got a pretty good team, but we're not. I mean, we're not the 27 Yankees. I mean, we've had 28 one-run games. So we know that every at-bat, every inning is crucial for us. If we play well, we're going to be in a close game. And I've said to the guys many times, going to the 6th, 7th, 8th inning, if we're down by 2 or 3, we got to crack at it. And that's kind of how we've played. And so we don't get into that position. This is our 3rd trip in a row, a chance to play in the finals for the 3rd year. It's just hard to wrap your arms around that. It really is. It's so hard to get here to begin with, and then to have some success and going through the PAC or the SEC. So many good teams. You just have to have some good luck, some good fortune along the way, and a couple clutch performances. So, in short, we just haven't been in that element that you think about anything, and you just go play and hope for the best that particular day.
Probably been the most pleasant thing this year, to be honest with you, Lou. I mean, I was confident that the junior class would be pretty good. They showed that their freshman year again, and I hate to belittle it. I want to thank my administration and specifically Greg Byrne. I mean, he had a vision to move us from Sunset, and there was a little bit of a controversial move. I don't know about Greg, but I got a couple of choice emails when we made the move. But it was a great vision on his part, and it allowed these guys, and again, I'm forever thankful to Greg from the standpoint that he had a vision of moving us to High Corbett. Not an easy move. You're from Tucson. You know what I'm talking about. But you know what? I'm not sure these guys would be here today if we don't do that. And I'm being honest. I had one of my ex-players from 208 at our practice yesterday. He came to Omaha to come see the series. And Ryan, you saw him, Colt Sedbrook. And I mean, that was a good team. Man, I'm not sure I'm ever going to coach a team like that with that kind of pitching again. I hope I do, but that was a good team. And I apologized to him yesterday. I said, Colt, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you didn't experience this as a player. That was the first recruiting class I've ever had that didn't get to Omaha. And that's a setback for me in terms of I want to get my guys here and let them have this experience. I'm thankful that they bring me here, but I want to get them here, try to get them here. I just think that it kind of the freshmen have had a great opportunity because we've moved to High Corbett. They've played in front of great crowds. They've heard the U of A chants going on. I've heard them. It's been a neat thing. It's been a great experience in Tucson for us. Again, I just think that they've developed because of that environment. And I mean that sincerely. I think they've developed. I never worried about the junior class. I didn't. They've proven they're aware to me personally on and off the field. The freshmen, I think, have gotten better and have been able to produce in big postseason roles and in College World Series because they've had an experience of being in front of 5,000 people against Arizona State and 5,000 people against Stanford and things like that. And so, again, I'm really thankful that Greg Byrne came here and came to Tucson, I say, and had the vision to say let's get over there. Let's see what this is all about. And I think it's been a great move for us.
Well, last night after the game, it was kind of a late night. I got back to the hotel, got a quick shower, and slice of pepperoni pizza. And here comes Andrew Kiddick with the Arizona Stats. And I said, Andrew, can I just get through one piece of pizza? He said they're hitting 330. He said there are no easy outs in that lineup. And so I started going through it, and obviously didn't get much sleep after that. But they're really good. I started watching them. We had a chance in the regionals when they were televised, and I got a chance to see them play there. And we're playing Louisville, and they're shooting balls in both alleys. And I've been to High Corbett. It's a big yard, and it's hard to get it out of there. But their plate discipline's incredible. They're making all the plays. Alex is fun to watch, and Robert. And it's a challenge. It's a difficult challenge. We're not sure exactly who we're going to start tomorrow. Most of the time, I'll get a guy or two to kind of get to me and say, hey, I really want the ball. But since they've watched these guys hit, I'm not getting those guys. They're avoiding me. All the pitchers are going in a different direction. But That's what it is. I mean, they're really good, and they've pitched well too. But they probably swing the bats better than anybody, or have been for a while. So it's going to be one of those deals that I don't know that we can slow them down. You hope to get a couple balls hit at us, and maybe a double play ball or something. But they're really, really good. We're going to have to be as good as we've been. We pitched really well to get back in this position, and we're going to have a couple of guys that haven't maybe been on the mound yet to pitch really well. Like I said, we haven't settled. We'll probably try to nail down somebody by the end of the afternoon. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. Coach Myers will make a suggestion, and more than likely I'll go with it based on the way he feels about things, and after doing a little bit of scouting work on the Wildcats. So we'll see, and if Roth feels good enough, then he'll probably get back out there on 3 days. But we haven't gone there either, so just have to wait and see. I've been kidding Coach Lopez. We're in the same hotel, and I see him occasionally, and I see his wife very early coming down for coffee. He's still asleep, but she and I, she and I are bonding, and so well, who knows? It's gonna be a great challenge.
My daughter last night, I'm sitting there watching the game. My daughter comes in. I've got 2 daughters. My 24-year-old daughter, the seminary student. So she says, "Dad, who do you want to win?" I said, I really don't care. Carrie, her name's Carrie. I said, "Carrie, I don't really care." She goes, "I'm rooting for South Carolina." I said, "You are? You didn't know this. Tell your wife this." I said, "You are?" She goes, "Yeah. I'm meeting with Coach Tanner's staff downstairs. They've got 11 kids among their coach staff. I love that coaching staff, Coach. I said, Dad, I want that coaching staff to win so bad. I want them to stick around a few more days." So you got my daughter one, man.
She knows we're easy, see?
By the way, I got Coach, one of the players in the elevator with me. He and I had a conversation, and he gave me the rooming list. So that's my tactic tonight. I got to do the best I can to even up the table here.
You're going to start picking us off. We'll go Connor Wade to open up the series. Connor's been off for a little bit, been about 5 days off, and so we'll open up with Connor. And then to be very candid, we're going to go TBA from that point on. I mean, obviously, we can bring Kurt back on 4 days rest, so if we have to, we'll bring him back. But, I want to see how he feels in the next couple of days, too. And James Ferris, I think James Ferris threw an inner squad in January, the last time I remember seeing James Ferris throw. It's been a while, and he's more than ready to go. If anything, I'm more concerned that he hasn't been active. That the blessing and the curse is that we've won 3 games and we've been off for 3 weeks, and Ray's played 15 games in the last 3 days. So there's good and bad to both of it, I think, in some respects. But again, he'll be ready to go too. So we'll go Connor Wade and then kind of see where we're at.
Did you ever feel the pressure to win this season more so than in previous years?
No, not to win, Ryan, as much as to get people to the field. And and you and I have been together for the time that I've been there. And like I said, listen, I'm really proud of this group. Man, I'm so proud of these guys. I'm so happy for them. Ray knows this. He's had the moments that you dream about as a coach. Having a group of young guys, as he mentioned earlier, sometimes our coaching technique is very similar. It gets a little loud. That'd be a nice way. It gets a little loud on the field, and you see the stare in their eyes of, my God, this is the guy that recruited me and loved me and smiled at me and laughed with me, and now he's upset with me. And it's such a blessing to see them here and see them work out and see them in the dugout and see them in the hotel and see them walking to Zestos and things like that. That's just, like I said, 08's the heartache for me. First recruiting class that never went to Omaha for me, from Pepperdine all the ways to Florida and here. The only class that I see, and I think, gosh, I didn't get them there. And so for me, when we moved to High Corbett, Ryan, honestly, I thought the 04 group came here. The 05 group was better, in fact. They were a year older, juniors. We go to Fullerton as a 1 seed. We have to face Scherzer for the Tigers the first night, and the next night we face Romero for Fullerton. That was our reward for being a 1 seed. We go Scherzer and Romero. And we beat them both, but we were so worn out. We couldn't get out of it. In 08, like I said, in 07 we're 1 season. So I didn't feel the pressure to win. I just felt the pressure that people would come and watch. Not me. I don't even coach the baselines. I'm sitting in the dugout trying to avoid people. Come on. You know my rule with Blair, right? Blair, I don't want to be on a media guide. I don't want to be on a poster. I don't want to be on anything. Just leave me alone and let these guys be on the. but I wanted them to come out and watch good college players. You know, one of the heartaches I've had at Arizona was this. In 2004, we were in the College World Series, and 7 of those guys were in the big leagues at one time. You know that. And we were getting, what, 500 people at a game? So I never felt the pressure of winning. I feel that pressure no matter what. I felt that as a high school coach. I want to win. He wants to win. We both want to win this weekend. You wake up with that, don't you, Ray?
You do.
Yeah, you wake up with that. You go to bed with that. I want to win. Who doesn't? But I just was hoping people would show up and watch Alex Mejia play shortstop, and show up and watch Joey Ricker play center field, and watch Kurt Hire, as goofy as he is, throw strikes. You know, and you know what? By the grace of God, and like I said, an athletic director with a vision, they showed up, and so hopefully it'll continue.
What do you see as the one trait or characteristic that allows them to do that?
Coach Tanner. And you know, and that's the right thing to say. He's sitting right next to me. You know.
It's okay.
Coach Tanner. You know, Ray and I sat, I don't know if you remember this, they put us way off, man. We were at the lower seas in the SEC. One year we were in that hotel we weren't in the nice one in Birmingham.
Right.
Remember we sat out there?
On the lake.
Yes.
It was bad.
And we talked. Remember that? We talked about profession, and we talked about, you know, at the time you couldn't have kids at the time, and we talked about life. Right, we talked about life. We talked about keeping this in perspective. We talked about all that. You know, we talked about the things that we don't get a chance to talk about a lot. You know, because believe it or not, like, we have lives. You know, we don't go in a closet. I tell my athletes all the time, hey, believe it or not, I don't go home, get into a closet. My wife shoves food under the door, and then I show up the next day. Come on, what are we doing? Let's get this bunt defense right. You know, I have a life. You know, I have a life. Leadership at the top. It really is leadership at the top. You know, I mean. Ray's done a marvelous job. Ray's as good as there is in the country in coaching college baseball. You people in Columbia are very fortunate to have Ray Tanner as your baseball coach at the University of South Carolina.
Senior associate right over there.
You're very fortunate to have Ray Tanner as your baseball coach at Columbia. You really are. He's not only a great coach, he's a great human being, and I've always believed that a team reflects their head coach. I believe that. I heard John Wooden say that. I was a young graduate assistant at UCLA in June of or in 1975, and I heard John Wooden say that right in my presence. He said, "Your team will represent who you are on and off the field," and I believe that forever. And and that's why, like I said, he's done a marvelous job.
Wait a minute. That's why. See, he reflects the head coach. My team gets 2 runs a game. That's the way I hit. His team gets 10. They're a reflection of the way he hit.
Go look at the numbers. I was a defensive shortstop, man.